Oh, I don't want that there. All right. Oh, we got some people here already. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You guys can hear me good? Oh shoot, knocking stuff over. All right, let me square this away. I am gonna pop out the chat. Make sure you guys can hear me good, see me good, check my stats, and we're gonna dive right into this because we're not gonna. At least I don't have plans to make an overly bloated and long discussion stream tonight. We are mentioning The Walking Dead a little bit, but I do want to highlight The Last of Us. This is something I thought let's do separate, but in a stream so we can bounce our feedback off each other. With the games, just to dive into it while people are still showing up, and then we'll get into some of the fan feedback here. HBO just dropped one of the most recent trailers leading up, I think like the final trailer leading up to the release of the TV show that's made from the game, The Last of Us, by Naughty Dog. It's a PlayStation exclusive. It came out in 2013. Instantly became one of my all-time favorite games. Still to this day, they remade it, and it's still one of my all-time favorite games. I streamed the remake. I love the remake. It's incredible. I highly recommend it. I will say, though, that the franchise itself has a bit of an up and down history with me, just because the first game was so amazing and the second game just threw all that away. In my honest opinion, that just chucked it all off to the side. And in order to redirect the story somewhat to not focus on Joel, which is one of the main characters, and instead introduce new characters and focus more on diversity. All honesty, that's what they did, because part 2 is literally a reboot of part 1. Instead, they replaced the male and female character with 2 new characters. Again, one is female with muscles. You might have seen her pictures, and the other was a trans character. And the idea that part 2 had the same story as part 1 hidden in this revenge plot, and it made it utterly meh, in my opinion. There was no So with the show, it's an interesting point, because the Last of Us franchise for me is done. I don't care if they make a part 3 for the video game. I'll play the game for the gameplay, but other than that, I really don't care. With the show, I'm down for season 1. I was under the assumption season 1 was going to be a season 1 and 2 would have the first game, and then who cares after season 3? I really don't care. We're actually going to dive through the trailer here in a second and pick apart different pieces. But Bill was one of my favorites. Ray, sorry, but we're going to get to that in a second. But just real quick to set up, my main thing is the world, the clickers, the infected is the creation of the infected. I think it's one of those creative genius moments, like the creation of the xenomorphs in Alien, like the creation of the Predator from Predator. Well, it's the Jungle Hunter from Predator. That design, it's almost perfect. That's why I kind of scoff when people they get the opportunity to make a new Predator movie, Alien movie, and they want to change the creatures and put their new stamp on it. I kind of scoff because it's almost perfect the way it is. And the creatures here, I feel, are incredible. The clickers, the bloaters, the runners, the stalkers, all that. Utilizing the fungus for the visuals, how they act and interact with the environment and the characters, even a clicker with the echo sense, and just some fantastic stuff. Now, I have been this whole time excited for the world. I thought Pedro Pascal's going to do a good job. If you guys are into this, he's going to be good to great for most of you out there. He's going to be fine. I thought he was a safe bet. But Ellie, it's just not working with me. I did pull up this, and I don't want to pick on the actor because the actor has talent. It's just a matter of cast Pedro Pascal as Negan. Take a person that just doesn't fit. They just don't fit as that character. Now, this is a little unfair, and that's why it's just how it is. But in a video game, they can obviously manipulate the face and the look of the character, but Ellie from the video game has this, when you look at her, it has this really soft, wounded puppy look to it. Like, she looks even when she is throwing down, getting in a fight, and cursing up a storm and holding her own. She has this pathetic look on herself, but not in a pathetic in a negative way. Um, the actor just doesn't have it. She don't have that look. You look at this look, it's just not there. The Ellie look is not even close to being there. And this is just one of those situations where we're not all fit as humans to slot into every and any acting role. I mean, that's just not how it is at all. And I'm really hoping that, because this is my one problem. Everything looked incredible. The trailer is like fucking amazing. And I don't want to single her out, so I bring up Pedro Pascal too. I think he's a safe and it's a lame. Somewhere out there is one of the most perfect, and unknown or a lesser known actor is like a perfect casting for Joel, but they chose not to go for it to be safe. And this casting, she was working with HBO before, and I think it was just something behind the scenes that there's no way you search everywhere. And matter of fact, I saw this YouTube short today. I was this tempted to share a clip of it, but this girl's picture popped up, and I was like, holy shit. You know, someone was interviewing a regular person, not a YouTuber. And I was looking at her, and I'm like, holy shit, she's a little older. But man, if they found her like 4 years ago, damn, she looks like real close to Ellie. Now, again, they have to have the talent. They have to have that charm and charisma. Very, very important. But that's my one big problem. I could watch the show and be like, yeah, I was wrong. Or I could watch it and be like, you know what? I still don't feel like it's working, but everything else was so great. And she's a talented actor. So I still enjoyed the character, but it doesn't have that factor. Maybe I should bring up, I don't want to cheat and bring up like any old picture of Last of Us Ellie, but let me show you what I mean. I'll just grab whatever first one pops up. Ellie, well, this is this is perfect because this is the remake. And then maybe I'll grab an original. And this is very similar if you look, where she's not making no scrunched puppy dog looks, but she just has that look, you know? It's just not there. The Ellie freckles is like one of the most iconic things, just having collectibles come out and the freckles aren't there, and the fans are like, bro, you know, you didn't do the freckles. What are you, nuts? There's just these little things that really bring it home. Yeah, I think here's an older one. This is the original. It has to be the original. You could tell that look. And do you see what I mean? Like, there's just a certain look with Ellie that the actor doesn't. And it doesn't have anything to do with her talent. Because like I said, from what I saw in Game of Thrones, she held her own. And in the trailer, if you look at it outside of the lens of that's Ellie, it works. I mean, like, her acting talent does work. I think that's the one thing that really pulls away from it. But we have to see it in entirety. I'm judging the trailer, not the show. Some people get that a little mixed up. Every now and then we get these comments where people are like, but you have to wait till it's out. And it's like, bro, how do you not understand? We're judging the trailer. You know, we're judging what information we have now. We're not judging the episode or the show based on that. We will judge the episode and show based on the full episodes that come out. The last thing, and then we'll dive into some fan feedback. I believe this is a Walking Dead killer. I'll leave that up in case we go back to it. But my wholehearted opinion, and Joel looks lame without a full beard. Let's be real. Come on. Fuck out of here. Anyway, this is a Walking Dead killer, in my opinion. Absolutely, without a doubt. Now, let me see. The bloater was fantastic. We're going to pull it up. I'll jump into the comments a little bit right now. But the reason I say it's a Walking Dead killer is because we now have something to say. This is what, instead of me verbally trying to paint you a picture, I can go boom. And here's the thing is, you might go like, yeah, that doesn't matter. We can have two different franchises out. But here's the kicker though. When you get a taste of better graphics in a video game, for example, when you go back, and I'm not talking about nostalgic like 8-bit shit. I'm talking about when you get PlayStation 5 graphics, and then you go back to like PlayStation 3, you see some of the flaws there, and you're like, it's just not worth it. You know, That's what's going to happen with The Walking Dead. When you look at the sets and the locations, unless they go balls to the wall with the spin-offs, the locations in the main show were not only me, some asshole saying it, but me as a fan got so sick of the treenery. That's the scenery and trees all the time. Even when they do actual locations, they just put up dirty tarps and that way they don't have to CGI. Do you want to know why everywhere they go in the zombie apocalypse with The Last of Us, The Walking Dead, there's always tarps laying around? It's so they don't have to fucking CGI the background. And fans are, I'm not going to, if you love it, you love it, whatever. But when you see this shit, and I saw someone on Twitter when I said this is The Last of Us, this Last of Us is a Walking Dead killer. People were like, what do you mean? The Walking Dead is amazing. This has shit CGI. I don't even know how to respond to that. I can't even fathom. You look at this and think first off, this is real sets with CGI buffs. We have pictures of the behind the scenes of them filming, and you'll have a real set here with a bunch of CGI. Maybe they'll touch up the green coming up, the bushes, obviously the street and the roads. They really muck it up, and then the green on the buildings, busted out windows. They really touch it up, but Walking Dead does really shitty, like a car, a building, litter, a couple pieces, and then they'll CGI and do have like this backdrop. And here's what they always do: some birds. Because the trick with CGI is once you add some movement, it doesn't look like a fake picture. Walking Dead does that all the time, and it is terrible. I don't know how you look at this trailer and then look at Walking Dead and be like, Walking Dead has better CGI. My brain explodes. I don't know if you're trolling me or what, but my brain can't handle it. This looks incredible. And when you start getting this, remember when I was talking and there was a handful of people, but they were a little annoyed that I'm talking about, I think it was only like 2 or 3 people though, maybe only been 2. They were a little annoyed about how I was talking about the grit, and that's like the fine details that you really don't know that you realize it's missing when you're watching it. But when someone points it out and they're like, yeah, you see how there's no grit in there because it's been 10, 15 years in the apocalypse, and it looks like someone took a regular street through, litter, and they were like, look, it's a 10-year apocalypse. You know what I mean? CGI vines or broken windows, some smoke, some burnt out areas. Anyway, oh, that's not going to play because it's under $3. My bad. I was waiting for the text to speech to play up. Oh, shit. I didn't even... first off, LifeBricks, thank you very much for the $2 tip. So glad to see another stream tonight. Thank you very much. For anyone who's new, the super chats light up and they're in the comment box. I put a... what was that? Whatchamacallit? Pinned it, but the tips, it will get you on the leaderboard, and that's actually on the screen. So whoever tips first is on the leaderboard, and then from there on out, it is the highest tipper after there takes the leaderboard. Let me put it on, and I'll pin it, and we'll look at the comments, see what you guys have to say, and then I want to get into the trailer, and we'll do a little bit of back and forth with the comments in the trailer. Yeah, I didn't pin it. So if you pin it here, you have 2 choices. Super chats, light up your comment in the chat, and then the tip, which the reason we do it separate is tips I get directly and all of it, and super chats, YouTube takes half of it. So that's just the breakdown of it. But I do appreciate any and all support. If you hit the like button, if you just show up and hang out and talk, leave a comment, whatever it may be. We're playing Callisto Protocol over on my Ronnie Hayes channel if you want to check out those uploads and streams and some more stuff coming up. All right. Oh, I didn't even look to see if I had the webcam centered. What a professional I am. All right. So let's burn through some of these questions. We'll back it up some. Actually, how far back can I go here? Just a couple comments. What are mods are the wrench? What are members are this little symbol? That's right. I'm trying to re-familiarize myself with some of the stuff here. Yeah, the clicker looked awesome. Both Pascal and Ellie don't work for me. Literally just Pedro cosplaying as Joel. He doesn't have the intensity the aged video game Joel has. The girl, nothing against her, but Ashley is better. another problem with Pascal, and this is something I knew he wouldn't do, is buff up a little bit. And Joel isn't, a bodybuilder, but he was a construction worker. So he has that leftover muscle even 20 years later. My uncle was a construction worker for a very long time. He got out of it, wanted to get into another job, and he's still built, and he's not working out. He's built like he just stayed in shape from, you know what I'm saying? He has that leftover muscle from construction work that I've seen a number of construction workers that I used to work with that have that. Just the forearms, you can tell from swinging a hammer all day and using a nail gun and all that other shit. And Pedro Pascal's Joel is that's what you get when you hire someone who's coming up. You know what I mean? He's not going to put in the work at the gym and buff up and add. No, he's just going to come in and act. And I don't know. I don't know. That's just personal preference to how you want your actors to act. These people get millions, in my personal opinion. I've worked with people that you heard a little scream and you turned around and they chopped off a part of their hand. I used to do sheet metal fabrication if you work with CNC turrets or brake presses and shit like that. And there's been, I used to make a joke that 70% of the people you worked with was missing at least a finger, or what's very common is a tip of a finger. And there was a ton of people who used to just get shit lopped off, So, and they're working, well, back then they're working for 11, 12 bucks an hour. Nowadays it's, probably 15 to 27, depending on how it depends on what you're making, where you're making it, and what your seniority is. These people are making millions, So when I say, like, I kind of scoff that they don't hit the gym to fit the role, you're making millions. Shut the fuck up and go to the gym. Quit bitching. You know what I'm saying? But not saying he's bitching, but I'm a little harsher when it comes to actors. I probably shouldn't do that because then I'm a dick. No one wants to be interviewed by me. But I don't baby people that. If you're rich, you're famous, and you're living the good life, I'm not going to baby you. You've already got it made, bro. Suck it the fuck up, I would love to do an after party on the Ronnie Hayes channel, AP, but even if we did one, it'd probably be just like an hour quickie. But I want to do it because I want to talk about Callisto Protocol. But anyway, she's got a bitch face, always looking angry. Fan cat. Yeah, I don't want Ellen Page. Ellen Page is a horrible fit for Ellie. Doesn't change the fact that she looks just like Ellen Page. The game. Well, I don't know how you guys what the context there is. Game version of Ellie is so much hotter than the TV version. Well, that's another thing as well. I don't want to get into it just because that's a younger man's game. In all honesty, if you're in that age bracket, you're gonna have a little more of an eye for a cuter Ellie, and that's just how it is. I'm not her age, so I don't know. I'm a dad. I can't tell you what the fuck do I know. So it's up to the people watching, her age bracket to see if she's got that glint or not. That's on her. Well, that's not on her. That's on her generation there. So they can pick and choose and judge and whatnot all they want. And even if they're not openly judging, this is something that we all know. We're adults. We could talk about it. It's a part of it. It goes on. And even if people don't mention it, it's definitely a part of, watching certain shows when you're younger, getting a little crush on someone, having a little puppy eyes on them. Anyhow, if they remain faithful to good script and use the budget well, there's no way this will be a stinker. People love Pascal too, I don't think this can fail, in all honesty. Even if it fails for the game fans of video games and movies and comics have been shit on so much with bad adaptations. As long as this is good, it'll be fantastic. Shit you not. As long as it's good, it'll be fantastic. Because in comparison, we usually shovel shit. All right. What did you think of Pedro's Joel voice? I agree with one of my friends who said the first little teaser had a Joel voice, and this trailer, it's fucking Pedro Pascal. It has nothing to do with it's not a Joel. It's Pedro. He's just doing Mandalorian again. Anyway, the only thing this show has going for it is the big budget and the great first game. Other than that, it's pretty meh. I would have to say also don't forget the creativity and the world building behind this and all that. There's some stuff going for it, but it definitely rides on the charm between the characters and certain emotionally explosive and focusing on some of the tension in the world building, because it's a very simple story. Do not forget this. The reason it worked so well in the game is because you were in that role, and it was like they were real people, because it's not a cutscene. As you're interacting, for those who haven't played it, as you're interacting, the characters randomly do shit, and it's done so well that it fits and it feels like there's a little AI walking around with you, you know? She goes to whistle, and you're just suddenly, you as the player are like, are you whistling? And then the character says it, you as the character are like, are you whistling? Why? You know? What are you whistling for? She's like, well, I'm trying to learn, you know? A lot that for a game, that stuff works really good. Oh yeah, there's Goonsack Steve is who I was talking to about the Joel voice. Um, Listen, I don't care what anyone says. This show will not even come close to being better or beating The Walking Dead. It'll be extremely good show, but it's not going to be better than The Walking Dead. Uh, Connor, you better prepare yourself. There's two problems with this, though. In all fairness, we are comparing something that I've already said this before. The Walking Dead came up at a time where zombie content was not given respect. You will never, in the history of the zombie genre, unless in the next 100 years people don't take it serious and it goes away and it comes back, you will never see what we saw with shit zombie content, and then the reemergence of the Walking Dead, where I say before the Walking Dead, you didn't take the zombie content serious enough to become emotional enough to cry, and that's the key. So in a way, The Last of Us can never do that, because The Walking Dead has already done it in the history of cinema. You know what I mean? Now, what I will say, though, is if you want to just base it on ratings and numbers, it's probably going to blow current Walking Dead out of the fucking water without even trying, And I will say, though, this is where, again, it's going to come up to, we're all going to debate for no reason, because you take this, which is infected kind of monsters, and The Walking Dead is classic zombies from the 60s. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, The Last of Us will never, because you always have that out to be like, well, it's not, classic zombies, because it's not. It really isn't. Anyway, I just don't get why they didn't give Pedro a fake beard. Even if it looked a little weird, I'd still take that over the patchy pubes. I don't know. Been waiting for a video stream on this. Keen to hear your thoughts. Let's get some new blood here. Since HBO will produce the budget, who's the pressure on for The Last of Us writers, directors, actors, etc.? Wait, who's the pressure on? I don't think I understand your question. I think the pressure's on for everybody. Yeah, I think the pressure's on for everybody, because this is a franchise starting point. This is a stepping stone. So obviously HBO, the pressure's on because of the huge budget. But for the others, I mean, it's on there because this is a stepping stone for the franchise. I don't know what they're planning, but if they don't have plans for 5 seasons of something, not even just these characters, but something in the world of the Last of Us, they're nuts. And think about it. Who's better to do it? HBO learned their lesson passing on The Walking Dead. Now they have, think about this, and this is really our reality. HBO could have had The Walking Dead, and they turned it down for the dumbest reasons. I think they wanted the gore out of it. I forget. One of the networks wanted the zombies out. One of the networks wanted the gore out. And I think HBO wanted the violence tweaked. And I think it was HBO. But they learned their lesson from the Walking Dead, because they passed on it. It blew the fuck up. But then HBO got Game of Thrones. And they saw what they can do with Game of Thrones franchise-wide. That's a money machine, And we know it is, because they did a spinoff. They're planning another one. Listen, look at the numbers. Game of Thrones is a money machine for HBO. Look at this. This has the potential to be the money machine that they passed on with The Last of Us. If they don't have plans for 5 to 8 seasons in some way, shape, or form, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. After time has now passed, what do you think of Lincoln's performance returning as Rick? He said a lot with his expressions. I gotta say, I don't. He didn't do anything. He stood in mud, Dylan. I don't know. It didn't blow me. I love Andrew Lincoln, but he could have acted that in his sleep. There was nothing there. Ellie was pretty normal looking, I thought. I don't know the context to that. If that's based on something I said, something someone else said, I'm out. True, Hollywood celebrities have their gigs and lives on a pedestal. People like Pedro should make the effort. I agree. That's why I'm really harsh on people who make a ton of money. You should be putting in 1,000,000,000%. I mean, there's people that lose limbs and get injured and live shitty lives. You know what I'm saying? Not shitty lives, but you know what I mean. There's people that break their backs and put in the effort, and they make $1,000,000 every fucking 10 years, and these are people making good money. You made that in what, 10 months, not even 5 months? Like, come on, you can put in the work. That's way undercutting, but anyway. So true. I talked to someone online and said they shouldn't have filled in pages of beard a bit more. Yeah, so the beard is going to be a thing. Thoughts on Denai Guerrera's writing for Rick and Michonne spinoff? She's also going to be a co-creator. Listen, she's an established writer, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I don't want her bullshit, and I love Michonne. I don't want her bullshit as a person bleeding into the character that's already established. I would prefer if Rick, and again, I love Andrew Lincoln, I love Denai Guerrera, but I would prefer if they stay the fuck out of writing for their characters, only because 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. You know, your own ego gets in the way. Your own bullshit gets in the fucking way. If it works, I'll gladly eat grass over it, but they thought it was too violent. Yeah, that's what it was. The HBO was too violent. Then they made Game of Thrones. They learned their lesson. I think they fired that guy, though. Not fired, or either fired or he left or they pushed him out, but the guy in charge is gone. I remember reading an article, but I don't remember the details. The simple plot inclusion of hint of a cure makes the story instantly more interesting than The Walking Dead. For a lot of people, it will. Granted, early Walking Dead had the lab. Its budget alone will help outgrow The Walking Dead. HBO thought it was too violent and prestige TV. Not prestige TV. Well, they were wrong. Who would you cast as Abby? No one. Fuck Abby. Spoilers. Do you think the backlash to Joel's death will be similar to the games, and especially Glenn's from The Walking Dead? A huge portion of the audience dipped once for Glenn. I will say the same thing I said before. They have to change his death because it's a copycat of Negan. That's one of the reasons why I was so disappointed almost immediately. If you go back and watch my gameplay for The Last of Us, I stood here and I was like, did you just copy? This is a post-apocalyptic zombie genre, infected monsters, but it's fucking zombies, and it's 20 years into the apocalypse. The Walking Dead's was like, it's almost a decade in at that time, and you just copied the kill, one of the biggest kills in comic history, right? Indie comic history for sure, one of the biggest kills and villain introductions, and you copied it with the same kill, but replacing it with a golf club. And it's a villain introduction. What are you fucking... How pathetic is that, And don't tell me it was a mistake. Don't tell me because in the behind the scenes when they did the concept for it, it was a torture and there was stabbings and all this stuff. It was different than just beating him in the head with a golf club. But the symbolism behind that, for those who don't know, is golf is guys only, ladies forbidden. That's an acronym. It's a joke. It's just a joke, but golf is seen as the masculine, you know what I mean? So they used the masculine symbolism on a female villain to kill the masculine role that was in the the creator's eyes was a mistake. It was a mistake. He didn't come out and say Joel was a mistake, but he came out and said that the making the white straight lead was a mistake and yada, yada, yada. In a context where, fuck it. In my personal opinion, I think he was talking about 100% about Joel. It's just weird that you make a statement similar to that, yet at the same time, you kill off a character that is such a U-turn from what's even rational or logical. Anyhow, simple plot. Okay, we thought. So I think they have to change it just by what happens, and if they do stick with it, though, which is possible, he's going to die, but I think they need to change it just because it's too much copycat. They'll probably keep it because Pedro's not sticking around for 5 seasons, 7 seasons. At least I don't think he is. If they do a season 2, they are doing a season 2. There's no way they won't. Do you think they will just adapt part 2 or do something different? You know what? I think they're stubborn. I think they're going to push to do a part 2, but they'll make necessary changes to tweak it so they don't have so much woke, they'll hide the woke shit. Unless they just say fuck it and throw it in there. I mean, I don't know. It's big enough to be able to push some of that shit in there and not worry about losing audience. But at the same time, you will lose a certain percentage of the audience. Now, what's interesting about this show is that they're quickly going to be running into original material since there are only a few games out. It's not like they have a bunch of comics to pull from. Yeah, that's very true, but I don't think this is something they're going to pump out one a year right away. It's going to come out in 2023, and the second season probably won't come out till 2025 at the earliest. That gives enough time for them to even, let's say, do a season 2. And then by that time, the third game, don't forget they're working with the creator. So the creator, HBO doesn't have to wait to know what's going to go on in season 3. And they're likely working on original material to kind of fill in some of that. And we don't even know if the plan is to stick with. In all honesty, man, it should bleed into it should bleed into something similar to anthologies in a way. You have these threads that connect, but in a way you can start kind of backing away from the main. It's not a true anthology because each episode isn't, totally new from a different perspectives, but this leads them into the world of The Last of Us. And then from there, you're good. And again, keep in mind, Game of Thrones is doing that. HBO, Game of Thrones is already doing that. If they don't see the connections, then I don't know what the fuck they're smoking. But the connection here is bring them in with The Last of Us, deal with the rough waters in season 2 if they're going to do a direct adaptation, but not exact, but you know what I mean. And then from 2 leading into 3, 4, and 5, utilize the same thing they're doing with Game of Thrones, but instead of doing spinoffs, which is something they could do, but instead of doing spinoffs, you branch out the story, flesh out Fireflies. So then we're watching season 4, and you get Ellie in some of it, but you also got some of the Fireflies and some of what Abby's doing. I don't know. I fuck Abby for all I care, but oh, God, I personally don't like hearing her as a writer. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. Let me catch up with some of the newer ones. Let me just catch any that are. If they don't retcon the second game, then they'll kill the show at the start of the season 2. I think TV audiences will be much less forgiving about Joel getting golfed to death. The Walking Dead season 9. 3 years into the apocalypse, cars don't work anymore due to no gas. The Walking Dead season 11. Yeah, I did a video that never made it just because I didn't have the time to finish the editing. But part of it was to take what was in movies and break it down into myths and stuff. Now, there's already Mythbusters out there, but this is an idea of taking a movie and doing like a video essay on why that's bad. And maybe somebody in Hollywood, if we had a little playlist of movies, maybe they can go, all right, let's watch some of these movies and see what fans are like. That's ridiculous. What happens with gas is, to oversimplify it, gas breaks down. You know what I mean? So you need to refine it, and you need to do some shit in order to refine. It's probably the best way, but there's something I remember. There's another way to do it, but gas will break down. Now, people have taken gas that sat for 2-3 years, put it in a lawnmower, and started it up, or at least they claim. Excuse me, but we're talking 10 years, 20 years. Listen, you're not just grabbing cars off the street and starting them up, which is what they do in The Walking Dead. They find the fuckers. They're already running. People are chilling in them. You know what I mean? It's like people are vlogging in them. It's really ridiculous. No, I'm joking, but still. Blu-ray Addict says NBC wanted to make The Walking Dead a procedural with Rick and Shane as the leads investigating zombies or something. Yeah, that's such a stupid idea. And you can see they wanted iZombie pretty much, Stupid. I watched the trailer, and did I see they changed Sarah to African American? Yeah, they changed Sarah. I forgot. We are going to run through we're 30 minutes into the stream, but we are going to run through the trailer. Let me run. If you have a comment to go to me directly, you have to put my name and it'll highlight it, or you can use super chat or direct tip. I'm going to go to the trailer. I can't play the soundtrack just because I'll get copyright claimed, but this is cool. This is something that we didn't see a lot of. Joel in the original, the classic Joel, look. Now it's Pedro Pascal. The beard's patchy as shit. I don't know. They really should have done something about that. But anyhow, and again, this is for the character's sake, not for. But that's cool though, because we haven't seen a ton of material with the classic shirt. Now this looks amazing here. You got this kicking off. And this is, if you played the game, you remember this is directly from the game. You saw that golden dome. This is where Tess makes her fun. If you're not playing the game, the final stand, fuck it. I don't know. It slipped. That's a final stand moment. That's pretty damn epic. I can't wait for that. So we know at least what's going on at this point. This kind of looks like that sludgy area. Remember in the game beforehand? So, but I love the look of this. The look of this is heaven to me. This is fucking amazing. Here is inside the museum from the game. One of my favorite moments because you can come running up with Joel and kick some ass. I can't wait to see this play out.
Keep going for family.
Obviously the beginning of the game with Sarah and Tommy. Here is Sarah. They did a race swap with Sarah, which I think is moronic because the character dies immediately. So what is the point even of doing the race swap? We know what the point is. They want to check boxes as much as they can. This does kind of take away from, and I use the argument all the time, I don't want a white Michonne. Not at all. So I do want to see the Walking Dead video game come to life in live action, you know, and it kind of takes away when you just change everyone's look. It's like, well, you know, they're saying what the characters said and, you know, they're doing what the characters did, but you're still not getting, and even if it's a petty desire, it's still not like The Last of Us in live action. And I know some people bitch and whinge like, but then we know what's going on because we played the game, and it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. We're, you know, this is, what do you want them to do? Change the story, change what happens? Why don't they make a new fucking movie then? Do a new IP. I want the video game brought to goddamn life in live action, but it doesn't matter what I want. It matters what they'll make. Maybe after Bill's, they get a car. I don't know if the show's going to do it different. It looks like they're doing it different, but after Bill's town,
Cargo.
And, you know, he tells her she's just cargo. This is definitely cool. Look at this, man. See the ship in here with the... Damn, and we saw 2 scenes of environmentals, and people actually think The Walking Dead's shit is better. And I want nothing but to love The Walking Dead because it's a TV show that has 100-some episodes. I want to devour every single one like I'm the zombie. But we don't get banging shit like this. You get 1 or 2 clips of stuff like this, but the CGI is very minimal. CGI quality, I should say. That's in the sewers when they're breaking out. That's cool. This is probably heading toward Jackson, to the dam. I think this is the museum. Yeah, look at that clicker. Oh, am I in the way? I'm going to make myself a little smaller. I'm definitely going to make myself a little smaller. There we go. That's what she said. That's what I told her. All right. Let me do this.
I think what really impressed him was the fact that I didn't turn it.
And she was showing the bite here. Now, in the game, it was that rainy atmosphere. So this might be like the second time she shows it, because she does show it twice. But I wonder why it's not.
I didn't turn into a monster.
Yeah, and even this
Was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster. They're working on a cure. I think what really impressed him was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
yeah, even that line delivery, every single line delivery has just been like flat.
If she so much as twitches.
I like though. This is good. This, if she's so much as twitches. Now this again, this the casting just it doesn't have that Ellie charm. Sorry, but the writing here for what the character does fits the character. Great little scene. I loved it. Even her, you know, she has, you know, competency is, you know, for acting. She could pull it off again, but it's just not giving me the Ellie vibes. But I think another thing too is we often see her in the trailer kind of like frozen face, you know, in a way. And Ellie is very much expressive. You see her very much like bunching up her lips and in her awkwardness and stuff like that, these twitches. And Ellie has that as a character trait. And maybe it's in the show, but we don't see any of it in the trailer. I might have missed some, but what they show her of is, so that doesn't help. That could highlight what. Look at this. This is iconic moment from it was two different buildings in the game, but you guys know this scene where they're crossing over. I love this roof here. And this roof actually looks very similar to when in the game, we have a couple roofs like this. But look at this backdrop. God damn, this looks amazing. Some of these scenes too. Again, last time I'll compare it with The Walking Dead. I'm just saying you're nuts if you think The Walking Dead is better. And I hope that AMC goes, you know what? Fuck, we need to up our game.
Do what I say when I say it.
I have seen people say that the song was in part 2. However, it just doesn't quite fit the vibe of part 1, so it was a little bit of a downer. I thought the trailer was amazing, and I did like the use of the song, and the song is in The Last of Us Part 2, so it's not like totally out of the realm of the universe. But I do agree. I miss that really iconic music from The Last of Us. Now, part of me, it really hopes and believes that they're saving it for an epic moment, maybe when we first watch it, or maybe right before we watch it, they do a final promo and they reveal the theme song for the show, and it's reminiscent of the game. That's what I believe and I'm hoping for. Now, this is where they meet the hunters, but what you'll notice is in the game, Joel is wounded, but he's not wounded here. And this is what I mean by those changes that we don't know what's coming. If he's wounded here, it's poorly done because he's not limping, he's not yada yada yada. I think they're even walking here too.
Yeah. Go east.
This is new. The Native Americans here. I'm not really sure if they're passing through a reservation. Actually, wait, what is this? Fedra? Biological community. All right. Isn't this the Northern Lights? Where would this be that they
come this far?
So this is new original content.
There.
I love that. Look at that. See the bodies in the gunk? That is fucking cool.
You're not gonna scare us.
Yeah, see, just flat. I mean, good line delivery for an actor, but it's not
Scared him.
And again, just frozen. Like, Ellie was just expressive. I gotta shut the volume down. That song's gonna pinch me, but I don't mind it. And there's Marlene, looking very much like the game. Love that. She's got her little scar on the eye. That's cool. They at least did that. This is the actual voice actor that played Ellie in the game, Ashley Johnson. Seems really cool and very talented. Very talented. I think she was a child star too, but people are saying that this is Ellie and Ashley Johnson is Annie, Ellie's mother. That would be cool. Like, the voice actor from the game gives birth to Ellie from the TV. If you can see that cycle as, in a way, it's like directly passing the torch in this. There's just, it's pretty powerful. So I can see why people are saying that from a fan perspective. At the same time, I'm kind of thinking, like, why would that be the case? Ellie was just some random kid being born. She wasn't born knowing. There's not special. There's no prophecy. So part of me is like, okay, it could be, definitely, because that would be a cool way for Ellie in real life to, give birth to Ellie in the show. You know what I mean? Real life Ellie, you get it. However, part of me just feels like fans are overhyping it, and she's going to be like a survivor, and because they give birth, they're being overrun because it's loud, or it's going to be one of those moments where it shows how fucked this world is here. Anyway, I do kind of wish that is maybe Ellie giving birth to Ellie. That would be kind of cool. Here's the mall, so we know the Left Behind is going to happen with Riley. Riley's even in some of the promo material, so this is definitely cool. My concern is they're going to do what The Walking Dead does, where they, for budget reasons, they'll film her and Riley only in one episode. So it's a bottle episode where it'll play the main story, and then boom, we flash back and it's her and Riley only. If HBO does that, well, you know what? They're stupid as AMC. Who knows? It might be fucking amazing. But if HBO does this, which AMC would absolutely make it a bottle episode, I'm going to use that as a way to kind of show why it doesn't work. Because if they blend it well and you could really pull the emotions and the magic for how they blended it, and it still has and it fits in the totality of the story, this just doesn't have the same charm as in the game. I don't know what it is here. I think this casting is way off as well. Riley had like this stern yet kind of approachable look to her, and I don't know. The casting just doesn't fit, man. Who's this guy? Frank? Is that what I seen? And here's Bill. Now, Bill is the guy in Bill's Town. This threw me off a bit because something about it when I first saw it was like a pretty boy Bill, because Bill was like a rugged slob, you know? But we'll see. And I'm hyped because the Bill's Town in the game was friggin' awesome. One of my favorite parts. I love Bill, so we'll see. Him and Ellie especially, their back and forth needs to be friggin' fire. This looks like the sewer area. No, it can't be. Light shining in, but maybe leading to the sewer area or leading up to it. Henry and Sam. Ellie's crying there. Here's the intro of the burning house. That is friggin' awesome. That is, that's when, so there isn't rain. This is when they knock out the guards and Ellie is found out she's bit. You know what they look like they're doing it though? In the game, Joel was knocked on his head and fell down, and they did it that way. This looks like they're kind of mimicking the beginning with Sarah. So they're mimicking it here with Joel and Ellie. I don't know if that's at the end where she's at the hospital. Maybe they're not doing the drowning. I don't know. Because again, think about it. That's something they will do. Writers will go full circle. So in the game, they didn't do it, and it was like a breath of fresh air because they did so much other full circle shit. So in the show, Joel's going to hold up his hand and get shot with holding Sarah. And then in the game, it was Joel and Sarah. And in the game, holy fuck. In the show, it's Joel and Sarah in the beginning, pop, 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 with the guard here. You know what I mean? The military. And then in the end of the show, it'll have a scene mimicking that coming full circle, but they get out of it that time with Ellie alive. This is probably from the same bit. Oh, you know what? That could be what they did. Instead of this is when her bite gets revealed, instead of it being in the rain and how it plays out. Now, the game was great, though, because Ellie stabs him. She's like, I'm sorry. This is downtown getting away. That's fucking awesome. We have some rain here. Is that Frank? That is Frank. So it looks like, are they really going to spoil that Bill? Is this Bill? Are they really going to spoil that Bill gets shot? And Frank was dead. I thought that was Frank. He was dead in the game, but Bill is gay. So they're probably going to make, in the game officially, so they're probably going to make Frank alive so they can do like the couples thing because they need to. The game was great though, because it had a real sting to it. That's David, most likely, the cannibal. That's nice. And here's Troy Baker. It looks like someone's getting eaten up. That's crazy. Here's Troy Baker. He is the voice of Joel in the game. A little cameo there. He looks like the guy that comes along and finds Ellie with David. That's David. You know what's funny? We've gotten several race swaps. Is that what it is? Several race swaps with the show, from taking white characters and turning them to not white. Yet they left the fucking evil The evil cannibal pervert. They left him white. You know damn well. They were in the writer's room going, oh no, we're not doing that. We are not changing that. This is after she got bit, so this would be cool to see. She gets bit and she freaks out. She's even got the shirt on that was... It's not in Left Behind, but she does wear that shirt. Left Behind, she had that tank top on. Huh. Oh, that's sick. Stalker. There's a clicker. Fuck, man. The Infector are going to look so cool. Here's what leads me to believe she kills David outside instead of the burning building. Because of this moment. I think this is the moment where she kills David. And she's like gutted, so it'll be outside. And Joel doesn't look injured in all those snow scenes. So I don't know if Joel gets injured when they run into David. He might get injured. And look at this, though. Holy shit. Oh. Wait. We'll turn the sound off for this. Wait, did they do music here? Yeah, they did do the music at the end here. I was so hyped I didn't even... Oh, they did it, but they're really holding back. They have to drop that. That's probably why they're holding back. I'd be shocked if it wasn't, but check this out. Damn. All right. We'll wrap it up with last minute thoughts and opinions. Let's pull your opinions up on chat. I want to keep this digestible, so let's see what you guys have to say. I'll pop it down. We'll go, I'm Joker. Which Walking Dead characters do you think could survive the apocalypse if they were in the Last of Us universe? I'm Joker. I want to keep this really tight and yada, yada, yada. So we'll probably do some hypothetical Walking Dead another time. But I appreciate that. I'll pick one, though, right off the bat. Which one could survive? Rick Grimes. He's the baddest. The closest we got to a shot like that was Rick riding into the city in the pilot. Yes. And even then, if you look at them, just take it and look at it side by side with this. Trust me, do it. I did it. I'd pull it up on here, but I want to keep these smooth. Am I the only one who doesn't care about the trailers? Honestly, they often show too much. A lot of people feel that way, but a lot of times you just can't help but look. Somehow I said Ellie looks like Elephant Woman. Somehow someone I know said Ellie looks like the Elephant Woman. Oh, man. One of the few things I actually liked about the trailer was Ellie's sense of humor. I'm not a fan of the casting, but she made me giggle the whole twitching. Yeah, the twitching scene was great. I mean, I like it too. I'm sure the YouTube comments are all mocking The Walking Dead. I don't know. I seen a lot of whoa, but I'm sure there's a few where the show is literally following the game damn near spot on. Well, that's a good thing. They should. She was good in Game of Thrones and his Dark Material. Oh, I haven't seen that one. Are you going to talk about the Flaw in All channel? No, there's no. We have a Flaw vs. All channel. Uploads are starting in about a week. That's all I got to say. If you're interested in Flaw in All, you'll go look. Links are in the video description. If you're not, I'm not going to waste your time trying to convince you. But they're worth it if you want to check them out. Flaw vs. All. Link in the description. Is there a movie coming out you're excited for? I'm going to keep it smooth. I'm not into Fast. I'm not into Transformers. AMC can't compare the HBO budget, so they'll never be on the same level. You're right. They can't compare to the same budget. Although, HBO, AMC, if you look at it, has made hundreds of millions of dollars confirmed because it was revealed in the lawsuits each year. Not years, not 10 years. Hundreds of millions of dollars each year. And the budget is, what's the budget? Like less than 50 million for the entire season? Because the budget is 1.6 million, I think, last confirmed official. Don't go on YouTube, Google, and pull up season 3's budget. I keep having people do that, and it's like, season 3 does not fucking count, bro. They changed it. The last we had it confirmed was less than... I estimated 1.8 just based on the information we had. And then an insider said 1.4 or 1.6. It might be 6. But the point, though, is That's, 16 million plus 8 would be 24 million. So I was way off. 24 to, let's give it 30 million a season, and they make hundreds of millions a year. 30 million to make it, hundreds of millions. They spend money to promote it, sure, but they make a ton of money. So although they can't compete with HBO directly, they definitely can do better than 1.6 million an episode. A lot better. If you look at the lawsuit and the information and comparisons of what AMC is doing with The Walking Dead and the budget to what other networks could and should and would do with the budget, it's insane. They were estimating a 10 million to 20 million minimum, that should be going into it. I think Last of Us is 20 million, right? 20 or 30. Just can't bring myself to watch a show that is going to be ruined with woke propaganda after going through Last of Us 2, which nearly ripped my heart out of my chest. I'm in it for the first one, and I think I'm growing cold to it. I'm good with taking a show I love and just walking away. Fuck it, show, game. It just happens all the time. Everything, shit we loved as a kid, grew up with, is being turned into shit. So more and more, I'm thinking like we just need to make our own stuff. That's it. Did you notice Ashley and Troy in the trailer? Yep, we did. Pretty sure they're going to cut Joel getting impaled since a lot of people said it was too unrealistic. Seems like they're sort of merging Jackson and the cannibals. Well, they don't. Here's the thing is they can cut it absolutely. And it is unrealistic. They did it with Rick, though, and fans didn't even blink, I will say just because they cut it doesn't mean they don't do the wound a different way, which is what they should do. That's a great way to end it. What I think they could be doing is saving his injury for the end of the season and trying to do a maybe, and this is a little cheap, but maybe trying to do a Joel dies cliffhanger in the first season and then, leads into the second season. But who knows? I do hope that watching this trailer, AMC invests more into locations and backdrop. Unfortunately, it doesn't. It seems like what they're doing is adding gimmicks. New York, France, but we'll see. I would love to be wrong. Ashley Johnson is a cool person on our Twitch channel. That's what's up. It's good to see Ashley playing Anna. I think it's pretty much confirmed now. Is it, though? Or is it pretty odd? And Troy is playing a cannibal and Joel Torches on a pretty cool one. All right, let's just catch up here because we got to shut this down. Where are we at? How many seasons, though? I say 5. I'm saying about 5. I like to think 5 altogether, even if they do spinoffs at a minimum. Sorry. I like to think the show will give AMC some competition and push them to give the spinoffs a bigger budget, but that won't happen. I feel like it needs to happen. Again, this is going to reveal to zombie fans what you can get. When you get this, when you get these visuals, that doesn't mean AMC has to turn around and spend the same budget on their show. Because again, AMC has larger seasons. I think they're trimming that now, but they had larger seasons. However, AMC can definitely throw a few million. They wipe their ass with the money that they can use to prop up that budget. There's people, if you look at the payouts for AMC from what was released and what we know of, there's people getting the fucking millions. You know what I'm saying? There's people getting a fuck ton of money where if you took chunks of money from all the different shit, you can throw that into the budget and probably with some clever and creative craftsmanship, probably get the budget looking like you quadrupled it with little effort. Just because the budget lately, most of the time has been so bad, Anyway, but yeah, I don't want to quote stuff because it's been a while since I looked it over, but when you read over the lawsuits and all the confirmed, and we're not talking speculated, there's some speculation, but if you look at all the just confirmed shit behind the scenes with AMC, you can see that they could throw, the budget's around 30 million. They can throw another 10 million without blinking, without even realizing they did it. You know what I mean? That's how much they were pulling in on The Walking Dead. So at this point, the only reason AMC doesn't put more budget into the show is because they are convinced they can give the show as little nutrients as possible for the money. And if it's not good enough, they'll just get a new show to hype it up and blow it up, and that's it, Anyway, how much coke are the suits doing at AMC? Won't be surprised to hear stories of arrest and money laundering. I think the plot improvement on The Last of Us and The Walking Dead is the hope of a cure. Wait, plot improvement on The Last of Us to The Walking Dead. Whereas we only really got the lab early on in the wall. Now, here's one thing I will disagree with, though. I don't find the cure interesting at all. In a long story for The Last of Us, I loved it in that story. When you're telling me you're going to follow The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes, for a never-ending zombie story, don't mention the cure. I'll slap the fucking taste out of your mouth. I'm joking, but the point is, why do I want a never-ending zombie story? No offense, but then bring a cure. I don't. I want to watch them. So I will say, I understand the fans that want an end game and an end goal. I get it. I've heard that argument. But I'm the opposite. I don't care about a cure, I don't want to cure the thing that's the most awesome in the show, The zombies are the most fucking awesome. I want them. I don't want a cure. Get out of here with a cure. But for the Walking Dead, now they can do things like you can have them looking for a cure. What's his name? Eugene said he could find a cure. Stuff like that is cool. But once you start actually bringing in CRM has made something that is a cure, and it's, we could really you lost me. Now it's just generic. They did it. I think this is one of the perfect examples with utilizing a cure in a very generic and basic way. Like the Last of Us video game, it burns hot on its charm and charisma with the characters. Incredibly so. If you strip that, and you look at the plot itself, it's like a 5th grader wrote it. It's like a 5-year-old wrote it. And I don't mean that as an insult. The plot is tight as fuck, but it's super simple. It's literally, guy loses kid, cargo, guy regains I don't want to say it without sounding cheap, but like a new opportunity to become the parent that they were. He gains a kid again, So parent loses kid, parent goes on a journey, gains a kid, and the characters change from the beginning to the end. The cure is the final boom. Instead of a twist reveal, it's the final blowout of she's got to be killed. Did he make the right choice? And blah, blah, blah. So if the character interaction doesn't burn as hot as in the game, I don't know. It might. Maybe that's why we see some of them fleshing out the stories to make it even better. It's because if you're just rocking with those two, that's a lot of pressure on just those two. Do you have a QB? Jimmy is out. What? I know you said you aren't going to do weekly review streams for The Last of Us, but I hope you at least do the premiere to finale. Well, I talked about we can jump in and do, but we can jump in and do 30-minute, an hour. Listen, I'm honest with the game chat. When I'm not doing this, I'm out doing DoorDash. I'm making money. Yeah, so if I'm doing this and not DoorDash, then I'm not making that $100. So we usually on the game and stuff have a little trade. But I love The Last of Us. I would love to jump on and we can do a 30 minutes, 45-minute stream. I'm cool with that. I just can't promise every episode at that time, at this. I just can't, but I would love to try, absolutely. So I'm game, especially for the first one. If I hate it, then I'll tell you I'm going to be terrible at it, to talk about it. But we'll see when it comes out in January. I'll do my best for the first one and as many after that. But I'm not doing any, obviously I'm standing firm on no predictions. I'm not doing theories. I'm not doing trailer breakdowns. I'm not doing any of that. I do want to shut this down though, because I want to keep it at a manageable hour. And then I want to jump into, if we can, I'll talk to you guys in Discord about doing maybe an hour of Callisto Protocol. Yeah, we'll try that. So let me get the last couple questions in here. Every story needs resolve. That's very true. And the average person would surely look for a cure. That's also, no, I don't agree with that at all. But yeah, I agree. It doesn't, we're talking about average person. Pesa plays. Go outside in the zombie apocalypse and go find a cure for COVID. All right, it's just not realistic for the average person. I think I know what you mean though is people are going to want to look for better, but the problem though is with no power grid, with survival, every turn, the cure is not going to be top priority. You're going to be getting food, shelter, security. And if there's something that is around, like, oh, we hear rumors of a medical center where there could be the cure, boom, now you implanted it. Now it's possible in those scenarios. But I will say that, again, the Walking Dead is a different beast. It is designed to follow them through the ending of the movie and keep going. That's why I am always against a cure within The Walking Dead, just almost outright. Great casting as Mormont. I disagree, Richard. I'm against it. Or wait a minute. I read that wrong. Great casting as Lyanna Mormont, and I agree with you there. Great casting. Horrible casting as Ellie on initial reaction. Let's see. Yeah, let's see, but I'm in agreement fully. She was great as Lyanna Mormont. Lyanna? Was it Lyanna, right? That girl isn't Ellie to me. I don't know if it's going to work. Joel and Ellie made The Last of Us what it is. Neil Druckmann really overestimated his writing skills, then went full retard in part 2. I agree with that. Joel and Ellie, the actors, the voice actors, brought it home. And part of me gets a little frustrated with actors not growing a fucking backbone. Troy Baker, who I love you, but you're a little bitch. He had it right. Troy Baker had it right. You are gifted. You are talented as fuck. You are charismatic. You are charming. Don't let it go to your head. You're still human. You know what I'm saying? And where you failed is when Neil Druckmann told you he was going to take one of the greatest video game characters ever, and in the second fucking game, which really is like the explosive moment, because in the first game he was brand new, that turned heads. The second game is where you got our full attention because of bullshit reasons behind the scenes, because of whatever's going on with Neil Druckmann. He killed your character. Your instant reaction was anger, annoyance. It was not right. That was his initial reaction, and he convinced him fucking self that Neil made the right goddamn call when he fucking didn't. Your first reaction, being mad and sad and depressed and blah blah blah, was right on the goddamn money. Neil Druckmann went full on dumbass when he wrote part 2. It's a sloppy piece of shit story, and it's a terrible fucking sequel.
A tip: BC, you are here instead of DoorDash. Can't join other channel?
No, there's no. Well, thank you very much, Musi. No, we don't have memberships open for the other channel because I don't want to split them, because we're doing the podcast here. Ronnie Hayes is for gaming. And if you're supporting here, if you're a member here, I don't want you to be a member on both. I mean, you're already supporting here. That's good with me. That's the gaming, and then the Flaw vs. All will not have memberships, at least again for right now, because Flaw vs. All is going to be only uploads for the first year for all of 2023, so no streaming either until we build up a community. But here is the podcast. Here is where we're interactive. Now it's going to be slow. It's until January, and then it's going to be more once a week for sure, twice, 3 times a week. So, but we're going to do the memberships and the streaming and the podcast over here. I really appreciate the 5 tip though. I get that, but we were Googling alternative medicines during COVID. Yeah, that's fine. But again, you're saying you're Googling alternative medicines. You can't Google in the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think maybe my perspective and I think the idea is just the communication is just not there. I don't know if I'm saying it right or whatever, but if you're in the zombie apocalypse, you don't have Google, you don't have yada yada. So I don't think, but that doesn't even matter. That's just a little agreement on the average person looking for a cure. I think there's going to be, I don't know. I think there's going to be about a 10% or say like a less than average that will actually want to go looking. There's got to be a cure somewhere, maybe in this state, maybe in this, you know what I mean? But again, that doesn't matter. It's just your opinion, my opinion. I appreciate it though. Neil was pandering to Anita Sarkeesian. All you need to know about part 2. He damn sure was in a way, but there's more back there. There's a few more in Neil's circles that he was pandering to. It's not just Anita, but there's definitely more behind the scenes. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Tess and David, only people not race swapped. How funny is that? They race swap Joel. They race swap his brother Tommy. They race swap his daughter. They race swap who else? But then when it comes to the perverted cannibal killer, evil villain, bad guy, no, you ain't race swapping that motherfucker. Leave his ass white. Anyway, the Googling was a joke. It's fine. Oh, okay, gotcha. Jokes, I don't know. Maybe it's my brain. They're hard to tell on texting. Just so you know, season 1 covers the whole first game. They filmed in a zoo, and the showrunner posted a hospital set on Twitter, so it seems like no Joel injury is happening. That's weird, man. But all right, if it's the first game, then at least we get one solid season of the first game, and we don't have to worry about, we don't have to worry about it. Dulcequire 28 said, instead of killing him, what about injuring Joel bad but living? I don't care, because either if you kill him or injure him, you have Pedro Pascal as an actor that is building up his career and living high. He's not going to want to sit around as an injured character. He's not, And second off, even if he did linger for a couple more seasons, I don't care, because if you're doing that, you're bringing in Abby. Abby's in, I'm out. It's that simple. If AMC wants to build out the Walking Dead universe, they need to start upping their games. I agree. Oh, Musey, right here, I heard the beep too, but modern. Thank you very much for the tip. Should have been actor who voiced Joel playing him. Man, you know what? If he buffed up and he had the right, he could have, but he's a little guy, I like him though. He's got the fucking voice like a motherfucker, If there was a way, imagine if there was a way in 40 years from now where they have CGI that is so goddamn on point, where you can look at Joel CGI in the video game with Joel's voice actor and it looks like a real goddamn person. Like, you cannot tell. Imagine that day will come. That day is gonna happen. And holy fuck, it'll be so much easier. You got the voice actor, boom. Whatever you need to do here, done. That'll be fucking crazy. I don't know how I feel about that though. I love the idea of having it because of what you could do creatively. But then on second thought, there's something about just being real. I don't know. I'm decently pumped for the first season, but once Abby comes, I'm out. I'm pretty much there. You never go full retard, never go full Druckmann. Yeah, I don't think we should even say retard anymore. I think we should just say Druckmann. Do you think character that died in the game will survive in the show? No. Kudos to you doing these. It must be a headache doing the quickfire Q&A, but we were doing really good. Thank you for replying. I like going quick. I hate dead silence, but we'll end it on that one though, because we are running 12 minutes past the hour. If you guys want to hear more Last of Us, be back here January 15th or 16th, whenever I can, for the premiere after show for The Last of Us, at least for the first episode. And like I said, if we do good, if there's support, if there's interest, if you're hitting the like button and hanging out and yada, 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 you want to be a part of it. Until then, I'm going to do a couple more of these every now and again. There's a Discord link down below. Doomsday Kingdom at doomsdaykingdom.com is my own comic where we're going to print with issue 5 and 6. They're going off to the printer this week officially. 5 and 6 is totally done. The print files, totally done. I have the 2 pages of fan letters, and that is it. Actually, if you want to, I think there's a few slots. If you have read Doomsday Kingdom and you want to email doomsdaykingdom@gmail.com, shoot over a couple emails with fan letters, and then there's a couple you might be printed in the physical book, so do that. Also, just write fan letter as a header, subject. Flaversall review channel, Flaversall, and I'm going over the Ronnie Hayes channel for some gaming. All right, peace out, guys. AP can't delete other mod comments. Why would he want to delete other mod comments? What the fuck are you doing, AP? Good night, guys.